Okay, so I am working with the original Jewel Loom Bead Loom, and I already have the warp threads in place. I will definitely add a link for you to see how that process was created. And what I'm going to show you in this video is how to sew a button onto your beaded bracelet so that you can have what's called a button closure, which is a super cool way to finish your beaded bracelet, especially when you have such a beautiful button as this one right here. It's a glass button from the Czech, so very cool. So again, in this video, I'm going to teach you how to create the piece right here and then sew on the button. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to put that over to the side. I already added my Wildfire to the left warp over here. And what I'm going to do next, and there's just like a little knot, and so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take the needle and thread, and I'm going to come under the warps, and I'm transferring that over to my right hand. And then I'm going to pick up 9 round size 8 seed beads. Okay, and did I get the 9? Yes, all right. And then we're going to let those just fall all the way down. And then I'm going to help guide those so that we get 3 of those seed beads into each of the warped areas there. There we go, perfect. And then I'm going to take my needle that's in my right hand, and I'm going to let that glide through the beads, and hopefully you could see the part of the silver of the needle there going over the warps. So it's really important that the needle is over the warps. And then what I like to do is just help to guide the Wildfire, because I am working with about 1.5 yards, and so we don't want that to create any knots. And so then we'll just pull that together, and then we're going to do another row of 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then again, we're going to let that fall, and we'll let those pop up in between the warps. Take the needle, and again, we're just going back through the beads, and the needle is on top of the warp threads. And then we're just going to pull. Okay, and so yeah, hopefully you're not falling asleep with the Frenchie over here, who just, as I speak louder, his snoring gets louder. It's kind of interesting. One thing I do want to mention is that, can you see? It's like I get a little louder, he gets a little louder. You do want to make sure that you start a couple of inches down on your loom, because you want to have enough warp threads on each end when we finish. And so I like to center my piece on the loom, and that is why I'm starting just about where that little hole is right there. So again, I'm going to take the needle and thread, and this time I'm only going to pick up 3 seed beads. Whoops. Oh, I can't help but giggle because it's just funny. You're trying to do a demonstration, and I don't know, if you have a fur baby, hopefully you understand. Even if you have a 2-legged child, like, they always want to be with you, right? So I just popped those 3 seed beads up into the far left warped area over here, the little channel. And what I need to do is I need to bring my needle under 1, 2 warps, right? So I'm bringing my needle under, and then I'm going to go back through the beads, okay? And we're going to do that a couple of times so you'll see it and understand. So there we go. And so you don't have, like, you know, threads over here showing or anything. And so we're going to do that again. So we're just picking up 3 round beads. helping to guide them down, and then we're going to pop them up and in between, and then again come under 1, 2 warps, and then back through, making sure that we're on top of the warp. And we're going to pull, and always just kind of checking to make sure that the beads are nice and straight and all is well in warp land. And then we'll pick up another 3. 1, 2, 3. And so what we're doing is we're making the beginning of like this little hole, this little square area hole where the shaft of the button is going to rest in. And so we have to like do this process right here. So I'm just trying to get back through. Yep. Back through the hole there. And so definitely going to have enough room, you know, because what we're doing is we want to make sure there's just enough space. And so I'll just plop that on the top there. Now I'm using a pink bead in this situation just because I wanted to make sure that you could see like the contrast. If everything was blue, then I was a little worried that we wouldn't see everything. So this time I'm going to go back to the 9, because that little area right there is going to be plenty for our shank. So we'll pick up 9 seed beads. What do I got? I got 6, 7, 8, 9. Did I do that right? Let's see. Yeah, 9. Okay. And so then we're going to have 1 full row. You can see like this little square coming together, and it's really cool. So then we're going to go back over, always making sure that the needle is on top of the warps. If the needle is not on top of the warps and you pull through, the beads will fall, and it's fixable, but you know, it's frustrating. So just make sure you're always on top of the warps there. And then what I want to do, so I've got to get back over here, but I'm over here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the loom here, and I'm taking my needle and thread and I'm actually going back through the beads, but this time I'm under the warps. Because if I try to go back through the beads on top of the warps, then I would just literally be pulling my needle and thread right back out from what I did. So I'm just going to do that, and that helps to lock that row in. Okay. And again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn myself here really quick. So back into the situation where my needle and thread are in my left hand, coming under the warps, passing it over to my right hand. 1, 2, 3, because now we need to build 3 little rows right here so that we have our first little, you know, our little patch of this little square patch that's going to house our button. So let's bring these back up. Whoops. And we just want to pop those in. And again, we're going to skip under these 2 warps. And we're bringing the needle on top of and through the beads. And so you might just want to put your finger there to kind of help guide it and keep it in place. And awesome sauce, that all worked out. Okay, and then we're going to do that again. We need 2 more of those. So 1, 2, 3. Warps, and then the needle is in my right hand. I came under 1, 2 warp threads and out and in between, over the last 2 warps and through the beads. Oops. Okay, and then we got 1 more to do. 1, 2, 3. goes up and in between, and then we're coming under. And we're going to pull that. Now, I bet you're wondering, well, Jules, could you just like totally do an entire bracelet like this and not even put, you know, like you could totally do that, and then you could keep repeating this, and then you'd have like this really cool like little window bracelet, right? You'd have like all these little peekaboo areas, and I would have to make one of those because that just sounds really cool. And you could do it like in different seed bead colors, blocked colors. That'd be really, really sweet. Okay, so I'm gonna turn around. I love when the inspiration hits you and you're right in the middle of one project and you're already thinking about the other. So I need to go ahead. I'm going to go back through that first row that I did, or yeah, the second row I did, and pull. And then what I want to do over here again is I want to make a better connection. And so I'm going to go under the warps and through all of these beads, and yeah, I just want to be under. Yeah, okay. So when I go under like that, it's just because it really helps to like lock in the beads into their place. You don't have to do that to all the rows. It's just like a first row thing and a second row thing. So yeah, see, I can already feel like that feels really nice and secure, like it's not really going to go anywhere. I'm going to go back on the top because now we need to get back up here. Well, I take that back. What we have to do first is we have to sew the button in. See, I got so excited about the next project. I'm so sorry, I keep hitting my table. You've got an excited teacher. All right, and then I'm going to go come back down. Stay focused, Jules. Okay, whoops, and get in the camera. Okay, so I'm pulling that. Oh my goodness, my little tail over here just wants to be a part of all the action. One thing you can do with that little tail, if this does it to you, you could always get a piece of painter's tape and like just hold it over there. Okay, and then I'm going to come back through this one row, and so I'm just kind of going slow here because I want to pick up the button, and I'm just going to put the needle through the shank because now we want it to sit in the middle, right? So it's going to sit in the middle here. And so what I've got to do, just dance with me for a second here. Let's scooch these beads over. So let's see. Oopsie. I want to go back. Okay. And then we're just gonna a lot of shifting here, so just bear with me as I find my place. And we're going to go back through. So basically just like going through the rows, hooking through, putting the needle through the shank, and just, you know, crisscrossing over. And honestly, I don't think you can do this too many times just because, you know, more is great. Let's get into the middle bead over here, the middle row. Let me make sure I'm through the beads. Okay, and then we're going to pull out. So I just keep weaving, you know, back and forth and making sure that I'm hitting the shank each time. This time's going to be a little more. Let's move this over. Let's see what we got going on here. Oh, there we go, there we go. Yeah? No. Okay. Oh. Back it up. Like you're thinking I have it, and I don't have it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come through. So we'll just like do a couple more like steps to this just to make sure that we're actually getting the shank. There we go. See, I'm trying to like what is it? Put the cart before the horse, or make something a little bit more dramatic than it needs to be. I don't know, all those words, all those terms right now. Okay, and then again, we'll just come over here and we're gonna make sure, yeah, see them going in sideways. We don't want that. We want, there we go. Awesome. So a little tedious, a little, you know, it's not so dramatic when you're obviously doing it on your own and you're not trying to, you know, tape something for everyone to learn. So perfect. Now, couple thoughts here. I want to definitely come back in. I'm going to bring my seed beads back over here. They're like, what'd you do with me? And where's our button? There we are. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to add a couple more rows of seed beads. And this time it's going to be the full 9. So what do we got? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So for those of you that are new, this is Marlon Brando, my friend She in the background, who is extremely clicky and attached to his mama. And so even if I were to put him out of the room, he would scratch the door. So he has made his appearance in, oh my gosh, hundreds of how-to videos. So what do we got? We got 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. So yeah, so at this point, you know, there's so many different options, right? And obviously there's going to be some more steps to this bracelet, but let's just talk about a couple of things really quick here. You could literally just continue to repeat that first step that I showed you, obviously minus the button, and you could have like a window effect bracelet, and or you could, like I did, I used one of the Creative Soul kits and used all the beads, you know, not all of them, but a lot of them in this bracelet. And so just kind of mixed it up, did different seed beads, different sized beads, different shaped beads. I'm totally digging these guys. I mean, this just made like a really super cool look. And yeah, so there will be another part, obviously, to this video, and we will definitely make sure to add that link, because you're going to want to learn how to make this. Basically, it's just a bigger version of what we just did, right? So we just have a bigger window, and that's what we have to put our bead through. It's so pretty. Let me put it on because it's really stinking pretty. So let's see, this way. And, ooh, am I a little swollen today? Let's see what's going on. Yeah, don't break the bracelet, Jules. Yeah, that's funny. I'm a little swollen today. Isn't that, it's, so here's a little tip that I wasn't going to share, but I'm going to share it now. Good idea to make your bracelet a little bit longer, maybe a couple rows, because if you tend to swell, like I did, I just made this bracelet like 2 days ago, and I'm swollen. And so there's a tip for you. This bracelet I'm a 6-inch wrist on a non-puffy day, and so apparently I need, you know, I could have added maybe 1 or 2 more seed bead rows just in case something like this happened. Very interesting. So there's a tip I wasn't planning on telling you in this video, and you got more than you thought you were going to get. So again, we'll make sure to put the links in the description on how to warp your Jewel Loom, and then how to finish your bracelet once I figure out how to get it off of my swollen wrist. Oh my gosh, what a great technique. fun, right? Many different options. So we always love to see what you do. And if you do make this bracelet, I would love to see it. You could always share it with us at hello@jewelloom.com or here on the YouTubes somehow in the community group maybe, or leave a comment on where to go and see it. Thank you, and definitely going to show you those links so that you can continue on with your own beaded bracelet with the button closure. And now I shall go get some Vaseline and try to get the bracelet off my wrist. It's not that bad. I'm exaggerating. Okay. Go get your weave on.